Good evening, Dennis Bragg. Breaking back into local programming tonight as we continue our fire watch coverage of the Lolo Peak Fire. Very active this evening here. As forecast, those high winds have come in, the humidity's down, and we're seeing a real flare-up on this fire. Our own Jill Valley is out there right now on Long Highway 93. I think she's in the area of the Carlton Creek Road. Let's throw it over to Jill. If you've got, do we still have Jill there? Let's go ahead and see. Jill, are you there with us? What are the conditions like?
Dennis, I am along the side of Highway 93 right now. We're just by Old Highway 93 and Trader Brothers. We're in a giant plume of smoke that stretches from Florence just to the outside of Lolo. As we stand here, there is bits of debris raining down on us. The good news, I've touched it. It's not warm, but we didn't need to wait for the eclipse because right now the smoke has completely blocked out the sun here. You can see the roadblocks. They're making sure people aren't going down that road because that is stopped. There's still a lot of heavy traffic though on Highway 93. Again, the Sheriff's Department has asked that people stay off if they can. There is going to be a lot of firefighting equipment, and this is obviously a surreal experience to see this swath of dark smoke that's dirty and now stretching clear across the valley. Again, this is going to be one of those nights where there's your ash, that firefighters are going to be working pretty hard, and it is strange to have stuff falling down on you. So I know you'll talk about the evacuations and what's the latest. I can't currently hear you right now, but I hope that you can see just how surreal and, you know, we've used the word apocalyptic. If you look right now, Eric, if you could swing that around, there's a helicopter bucket, like coming right over the freeway. Either on its way to fill up or to dump. You spend any time around a fire camp or watch these guys in action, and I will tell you, I hope they get paid enough because they are working really, really hard. And as he flew by, we have more ash coming down on us in this direction. Dennis, I'll send it back to you.
I want to recap what's going on with those evacuations Jill mentioned here just a short time ago. The Missoula County Sheriff's Office issued mandatory evacuations for the Sleeman Creek area along Highway 12. You can see the map there due to the Lolo Peak Fire that impacts about 60 to 65 homes. The Stella Blue subdivision, which is just to the east of that, is currently under an evacuation warning. Highway 12 is closed at Lolo there at the junction with Highway 93 until further notice. The fire is very active along Highway 12 right now, and that's where a lot of the concern is in that area between Mill Creek and Lolo, and they just don't want to have too many people in there. That's a very narrow part of that canyon. And Matt, if we can switch over now, I want to have you take a look at what this looked like as this was flaring up. This is about an hour ago. This big pyrocumulus cloud lifting up over the fire as the conditions warmed up, and this is exactly what you expect to see in this kind of thing. These can actually get big enough to generate their own weather. I don't think that happened here, but on occasion they can get high enough to actually kick off lightning and even some rain showers downwind. What this main impact we're seeing from this right now is, like Jill said just a minute ago, it's carrying that debris from the fire out into the valley. Now most of that will be cold when it hits down on the ground, but it could start some fires. And firefighters have told us if that happens, if you see some falling debris on your property and it starts some kind of a small fire, put that out as quickly as possible because that prevents further problems. Again, we'll continue to follow this as it goes out through the course of the evening. We're updating constantly right now on our social media sites. And of course, we'll have a full impact at 10 o'clock. More updates as they come right here from MTN News. Thanks very much. We are back live with another check on the Lolo Peak Fire and the progress of that fire as we've been tracking it. Our own Jill Valley is now at that checkpoint where they have closed Highway 12 at the intersection with 93 in Lolo. Jill, what are you seeing out there right now at that checkpoint?
All right, at the checkpoint right now, it's 2 miles up the road here. You've got cars going in and out because you know there's that evacuation up the Sleeman Gulch area. We're only about maybe a mile from where we were last time. You can see the sun, but I'm going to have Eric turn the camera over because it's about 90 degrees over this way. You can see that plume of dark smoke that's just dirty and glowing. So this is an absolute mix of fire weather and wind. There's a very strong law enforcement presence around here. A lot of people are at the pre-evacuation checkpoint just across the road as these new evacuations were put into effect. The wind is also starting again to kick up out here. Dennis? Deep inside, the Lolo Peak fire shows its intensity as winds whip things up again tonight.
Those winds creating an epic cloud of smoke that towered over Missoula and the northern Bitterroot.
And with the fire danger, the Sheriff's Department calling for new evacuations tonight.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
More extreme fire behavior on the Lolo Peak fire as strong winds, warm temperatures, and low humidity combined to fan the blaze, which has already burned upward of 20,000 acres, much of it in the past couple of days. Those winds raked across the fire zone, creating numerous pyrocumulus clouds, at one point soaring 27,000 feet above the northern Bitterroot. That uplift in the winds were carrying burnt and even burning debris to the east as firefighters worked to reinforce the control lines, which were built weeks ago in anticipation of this kind of weather.
And we have new video that gives us a dramatic view of the Lolo Peak fire, and this is what firefighters are worried about tonight as the winds could roar through those canyons at gusts that could hit 40 miles per hour. Sustained winds in the area are already kicking up fire activity with the potential to start spot fires, which is a fear tonight, and that is part of the reason law enforcement closed portions of Highway 12. Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. Firefighting planes working on the Lolo Peak fire were grounded this afternoon after crews spotted a drone in the area around 3 o'clock. We spoke with Public Information Officer Mike Cole, who says those slurry bombers and planes can't fly when a drone is in their airspace. Now,
the planes were working towards their last runs because the visibility was getting so bad because it all kicked up this afternoon. It didn't greatly interfere with firefighting efforts this time. Cole says he's reminding everyone drones are not allowed in the area. You could interfere with their ability to save lives and homes.
And we certainly don't want to see that. The Missoula County Sheriff's Office has issued new mandatory evacuations for the Sleeman Creek area along Highway 12 due to the Lolo Peak fire that impacts 60 to 65 homes. The Stella Blue subdivision is currently under an evacuation warning. Highway 12 is closed a couple of miles west of Lolo tonight through traffic all the way to Graves Creek.
There's been a robust response from emergency crews with this Lolo Peak fire as they race to make sure people stay safe.
You were out there tonight. You could see those engines just being staged everywhere, all of these points of problems. The real problem has been smoke, especially on that Highway 12 corridor. That's one of the reasons they closed it down. And as MTN's Eric Clemens reports, things could get worse before they get better.
The fire is active on all fronts right now.
Firefighters and law enforcement officers say they were expecting high winds to kick up massive plumes of smoke along the Lolo Peak fire. The smoke cascading off the Lolo Peak fire has effectively blotted out the sun, creating a scene that some describe as apocalyptic. In addition to that low visibility, ash has been raining down, with some pieces about 1.5 to 2 inches long. That smoke and ash is one reason the Missoula County Sheriff's Department closed a large portion of Highway 12.
It's a real hazard. Sometimes it can get so dense that it's worse than driving at night. So we don't want to have any accidents. We also have to have it open for fire traffic to get in there as fast as they can.
The massive clouds of smoke boiling off the mountain is a sight to behold, drawing in large crowds all across Highway 93 South. However, that onslaught of onlookers is hindering crews' ability to respond swiftly.
Last night, we did unfortunately lose 2 residences, and what the public needs to know is that the firefighters' efforts were impeded by looky-loos traveling down Highway 93, filling the park and ride parking lot. We had approximately 30 fire engines that could not get up the hill that were designated for structure protection, and due to just curiosity, it cost us about 25 to 30 minutes. Deputies had to respond and unclog that traffic jam. We had the help of Highway Patrol. Lots going on, but if you don't need to be there, please just respect those that are laboring to save residents and homes, and stay out of the area.
The Missoula County Sheriff's Department urges all residents to remain diligent and to be prepared for anything. In Lolo, Eric Clements, MTN News.